There is a timeless truth that governs the workings of life, and love, what is meant for you, cannot be missed. The moment you plant the seed of desire within your mind, it begins to take root. But the key to its fulfillment is not in the frantic chase, but in the quiet assurance that it is already yours. You must understand, dear one, that the world you see is merely a reflection of your inner state. If you believe that love is something to pursue, to chase, to grasp with desperation, you will find yourself running endlessly. But if you rest in the truth that love is a natural expression of who you are, then love will find its way to you without effort. Stillness is the most profound power you possess. In a world constantly moving, where people rush to fulfill their desires and chase fleeting goals, it is the one who can sit in quiet assurance who commands life's unfolding. Stillness is not idleness, it is the calm, deliberate awareness that the fulfillment of your desires is already within you. It is the recognition that nothing outside of you has the power to grant you what you seek. You connect to the infinite power of creation. When you are still, you quiet the noise of doubt, fear, and desperation. You silence the voice that says you must act, fight, or struggle to receive. Instead, you tune into a deeper truth. Everything you desire already exists within the invisible realm, and it is your inner state that draws it forth into the visible. The moment you still your mind, you step into harmony with the forces that shape your world. People often believe that action is the key to getting what they want. They run, chase, and exhaust themselves trying to manipulate circumstances. But their frantic efforts only create resistance because they operate from a state of lack. They believe they must do in order to have. This is the great illusion. True power does not come from doing, it comes from being. And to be requires stillness. Stillness is not passive. It is the active choice to align with the state of fulfillment, to rest in the feeling of having already received. When you sit quietly and imagine your desire as a present reality, you are performing the most potent act of creation. You are planting the seed of your desire in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. From there it grows, nourished by your faith and conviction, until it inevitably manifests in your experience. When you are still, you do not chase. You do not plead or force. You simply allow. You trust that the universe knows the perfect way to bring your desire to you in the perfect time. Your task is not to figure out the how or the when. Your task is to stay anchored in the knowing that it is done. This knowing is the essence of stillness. It is the quiet confidence that life is working in your favor, even when you cannot yet see the results. Stillness also allows you to hear the whispers of intuition. When your mind is cluttered with worry or overrun with endless plans, you miss the subtle guidance that comes from within. But when you are still, you open the channel to receive inspiration. The ideas, insights, and opportunities begin to flow to you effortlessly. You no longer have to struggle to make things happen, because you are aligned with the natural flow of creation. The power of stillness lies in its ability to shift your state of being. When you are still, you move from a state of lack to a state of abundance. You stop focusing on what is missing and start embodying the feeling of fulfillment. And it is this feeling, not your actions, that shapes your reality. The world reflects your inner state like a mirror. If you are restless, anxious, or doubtful, your world will reflect that. But if you are still, calm, and assured, your world will mirror that peace and bring forth your desires with ease. Stillness is an act of surrender, but not in the sense of giving up. It is the surrender of resistance. It is letting go of the need to control and trusting that life's wisdom is greater than your own. When you surrender, you step out of the way and allow the forces of the universe to work on your behalf. You stop interfering with their flow and start cooperating with it. In stillness, you discover that the real journey is not about changing the external world, but about transforming within. It is about becoming the person who naturally attracts what they desire. When you are still, you allow yourself to feel as though your desire is already fulfilled. This feeling is the bridge that connects the invisible with the visible, the unmanifested with the manifested. Stillness is a practice. It requires patience and faith. There will be moments when the urge to act impulsively or to doubt creeps in. But in those moments, return to stillness. Remind yourself that there is nothing to fear, nothing to force. All you need is already yours. Sit with that truth. Breathe it in. Let it settle into every corner of your being. The greatest movements of life arise from stillness. The seed does not strain to grow, it simply rests in the soil, trusting the process of life. The same is true for you. Rest in the soil of your own inner knowing. Trust that everything is unfolding perfectly. Be still and know that you are already complete. In this stillness you unlock the limitless power within you, and the world bends to reflect your state of grace. Imagination is the invisible hand that shapes the reality you experience. Every structure, every invention, every moment of beauty or triumph began first as an image in someone's mind. Before it was seen in the physical world, it was felt, envisioned, and brought to life in the realm of imagination. This is the secret to creation. The world you live in is merely a reflection of the thoughts and images you hold within. When you grasp the power of imagination, you realize that nothing is truly beyond your reach. Your imagination is the workshop of creation. It is here that you build the blueprint for the life you desire. Yet many people misuse this power. Instead of imagining possibilities, they dwell on fears, failures, or limitations. They replay the worst-case scenarios in their minds and wonder why their lives mirror these fears. They do not realize that their imagination, whether consciously directed or not, is constantly creating their reality. To harness the power of imagination, you must understand that it works in alignment with your feelings and beliefs. It is not enough to simply think about what you want. You must feel it as though it is already real. When you imagine yourself living the life you desire, fully immersed in the experience, your subconscious mind begins to accept this as your truth. The subconscious does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. It takes your inner vision as fact and works tirelessly to bring it to fruition. Think of your imagination as the canvas upon which you paint the masterpiece of your life. Every detail matters. If you want abundance, imagine yourself surrounded by prosperity. Feel the joy and relief of having more than enough. See the details clearly. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Let those feelings saturate your being. This act of creative imagining is not a mere exercise, it is the foundation upon which your future is built. The key is to imagine from the end. Do not imagine yourself desiring or striving for your goal, as that only reinforces the state of lack. Instead, place yourself in the scene where your desire is already fulfilled. If it is love you seek, imagine yourself in a loving relationship. Feel the warmth, the companionship, the laughter. Make it real in your mind. By doing so, you are telling the universe, "This is who I am." And the universe responds by aligning your reality with your new identity. This power, however, requires discipline. It is not enough to imagine once or twice and then revert to old patterns of doubt and worry. You must persist in your vision, even when there is no immediate evidence that your desire is on its way. Faith is the bridge that connects your imagination to reality. When you persistently hold an image in your mind, with faith that it will come to pass, you set into motion forces that are beyond your conscious understanding. Your imagination is also the key to overcoming obstacles. When faced with challenges, do not dwell on the problem. Instead, use your imagination to see the solution. Envision yourself already victorious, already thriving. This mental shift not only changes your perspective, but also opens the door for solutions to reveal themselves. Your imagination is not bound by the limitations of logic or circumstances. It sees beyond what is and focuses on what can be. The beauty of imagination is that it allows you to become the architect of your own destiny. You are not a victim of circumstances or a puppet of fate. You have the power to create, to shape, to design the life you want. But this power requires you to take responsibility for your thoughts. You must choose your inner images with care, knowing that they will shape the world around you. Imagine boldly, without fear or doubt. Do not limit yourself by what seems possible or practical. Remember, the purpose of imagination is to transcend the limitations of the present moment and reach into the infinite realm of possibility. Trust in this process. What you vividly imagine with feeling and faith must come to pass. This is not a matter of chance, but of law. In the quiet moments of your day, close your eyes and enter the world of imagination. Build there the life you wish to live. Make it as real and vivid as you can. Then carry the feeling of that imagined reality into your waking moments. Let it guide your actions, your decisions, and your interactions. Over time, you will see that your outer world begins to shift, aligning itself with the vision you have held within. Letting go does not mean giving up on your desires. It means surrendering the need to control how and when they manifest. It means moving from a state of lack to a state of faith. This faith is not blind optimism, but a deep knowing that life is working in your favor, even if you cannot yet see the results. When you let go, you shift your focus from external striving to internal alignment. This shift is where true power lies. The act of letting go requires patience and trust, both of which can feel challenging in a world that glorifies hustle and instant gratification. But remember, the greatest transformations often occur in stillness. When you stop chasing and start trusting, you open yourself to possibilities that you might have overlooked in your frantic pursuit. You begin to notice the subtle signs, the intuitive nudges, and the opportunities that were always there but hidden from your view. Another key to releasing the need to chase is cultivating a sense of worthiness. Often the impulse to chase stems from a subconscious belief that you are not enough as you are, that you must earn or prove your worth to receive what you want. But the truth is, you are already deserving. Your worth is inherent and unchanging. When you embrace this truth, you no longer feel the need to grasp or cling. Instead, you attract effortlessly because you radiate confidence and self-assurance. Releasing the need to chase is an act of self-love. It is a declaration that you trust yourself and the unfolding of your journey. It is choosing peace over desperation, alignment over effort, and faith over fear. When you embody this state, you become magnetic. You draw to you the people, circumstances, and opportunities that resonate with your energy. You no longer have to chase, because everything you desire flows naturally into your life. The paradox of letting go is that it often accelerates the manifestation of your desires. When you stop chasing, you stop creating resistance. You step into the flow of life, where things happen with ease and grace. This doesn't mean you sit idle, it means you take inspired action from a place of alignment and trust, rather than from a place of fear and lack. As you release the need to chase, you will find a sense of freedom. No longer bound by the pressure to pursue, you can focus on becoming the best version of yourself. You can nurture your dreams, follow your passions, and enjoy the present moment, knowing that everything you desire is already on its way. Trust in this process. Let go of the chase, and watch as life begins to unfold in ways that are far greater than you could have imagined. The state of being is the foundation of everything you experience in life. It is the silent force shaping your reality, often without your conscious awareness. While action has its place in the physical world, it is secondary to the state from which you act. The most transformative and fulfilling outcomes arise not from frantic activity, but from a state of being that is aligned with your desires. To truly create the life you want, you must focus on your state of being first, allowing your actions to flow naturally and effortlessly from that inner alignment. The world often glorifies action. It rewards busyness, hustle, and relentless effort. Society teaches that if you want something, you must chase it, fight for it, and never stop until you achieve it. But what if this constant striving is not the way to true fulfillment? What if the most effective path begins not with doing but with being? Your state of being, the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs you carry within determines the quality of your actions and the results they produce. Action that arises from a state of doubt, fear, or lack will always fall short, no matter how much effort you put in. When you prioritize your state of being, you are aligning yourself with the outcomes you desire. Think of it as tuning a radio. You cannot hear your favorite station unless you first adjust the dial to the correct frequency. In the same way, you cannot attract what you truly want unless you align your state of being with the frequency of those desires. This alignment happens through feelings, thoughts, and beliefs that resonate with the life you wish to create. When you embody the state of someone who already has what they want, your actions become natural expressions of that state. Consider this: a person who feels abundant will naturally take actions that reflect abundance. They will make decisions confidently, share generously, and embrace opportunities with ease. On the other hand, a person who feels scarcity, even if they work tirelessly, will approach life with hesitation, fear, and a tendency to hold back. Their state of being undermines their actions. The difference is not in the effort, but in the energy behind the effort. This is why focusing on your state of being is so essential. It ensures that every action you take is infused with the power to manifest your desired outcome. The key to cultivating the right state of being is self-awareness. Take time to observe your inner world. What are you feeling? What thoughts dominate your mind? Are they aligned with what you want to create, or are they rooted in fear and doubt? Awareness is the first step toward transformation. Once you recognize the state you are in, you can consciously choose a new one. This is not about forcing yourself to feel something you don't truly believe, but about gently shifting your focus toward the emotions and thoughts that support your desired reality. Visualization and imagination are powerful tools for aligning your state of being. When you vividly imagine yourself living the life you desire, your mind begins to accept it as your reality. Close your eyes and see yourself as the person you want to be. Feel the emotions of already having what you seek. Let that feeling saturate your being. This practice is not about escaping the present, but about creating a new inner reality that will inevitably manifest outwardly. When your state of being changes, your actions and experiences follow suit. Trust plays a significant role in shifting from action-driven to being-centered living. Trust that the universe, or the higher power you believe in, is working in harmony with your intentions. Trust that you don't need to control every detail or force outcomes. This trust allows you to relax into your state of being, knowing that it is enough to set the wheels of creation in motion. When you act from a place of trust, your actions are inspired and effortless, rather than forced and exhausting. It is important to remember that action is not the enemy. It is a necessary part of life, but it must be the servant of your state of being, not the master. Action taken from alignment is powerful and effective. It feels natural, as if you are being carried by a current rather than swimming against it. You may still work hard, but the work will feel joyful and purposeful, because it is in harmony with your inner state. The key is not to abandon action, but to ensure it flows from a place of clarity and alignment. This principle applies to every area of life. In relationships, for example, trying to win someone's affection through relentless effort rarely works. True connection arises from a state of being that radiates love, confidence, and authenticity. In career and business, success comes not from working yourself to exhaustion, but from embodying the qualities of someone who is already successful: vision, confidence, and a sense of purpose. When you focus on your state of being, you reclaim your power. You realize that you are not at the mercy of external circumstances. Instead, you are the creator of your reality. Everything begins within, and when you align your inner world with your desires, the outer world responds in kind. This is not magic, it is a fundamental truth of existence. By prioritizing your state of being over action, you unlock a life of greater ease, joy, and fulfillment. You become a living example of the profound truth that who you are is far more important than what you do. Letting go of resistance is one of the most liberating choices you can make. Resistance is the invisible wall that blocks your flow, the inner tension that keeps you disconnected from the peace, joy, and abundance that are naturally yours. It shows up in subtle ways: doubts, fears, frustrations, or the need to control every outcome. Yet the very act of resisting what is creates a cycle of struggle, leaving you trapped in patterns that prevent you from moving forward. To let go of resistance is to release the weight that holds you down and to step into a life of freedom and ease. Resistance often stems from the mind's attachment to how things should be. We create rigid expectations about how events should unfold, how others should behave, or how quickly we should achieve our goals. When reality does not conform to these expectations, resistance arises. It manifests as frustration, impatience, or even despair. The more tightly we cling to these expectations, the more we suffer. This suffering is not caused by the situation itself, but by our refusal to accept it as it is. The goal of resistance begins with awareness. You must first notice when and where resistance is present in your life. It could be in the form of a lingering resentment, an unresolved fear, or a constant feeling of pushing against something. Pay attention to your emotions and your body. Resistance often reveals itself as tension, a tightness in your chest, a knot in your stomach, or a racing mind. These signals are your invitation to pause, reflect, and let go. To let go does not mean to give up or resign yourself to an undesirable fate. It means to release the inner struggle against what is. It means to accept the present moment fully, not because you necessarily like it, but because resisting it will not change it. Acceptance is not passive. It is a powerful act of surrender that aligns you with the flow of life. When you accept what is, you create space for transformation. You move from a place of resistance to one of possibility. The key to releasing resistance lies in shifting your focus. Instead of obsessing over what is wrong, turn your attention to what feels good, what inspires you, or what you can appreciate right now. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to resistance. It redirects your energy from lack to abundance, from frustration to contentment. By focusing on what you are grateful for, you soften the grip of resistance and open yourself to the natural flow of life. Letting go of resistance also requires trust. Trust that life is unfolding exactly as it should, even if it does not match your expectations. Trust that every challenge carries within it the seed of growth, and that every delay serves a purpose. When you trust the process, you no longer feel the need to force outcomes or control every detail. Instead, you can relax into the rhythm of life, knowing that you are always being guided toward your highest good. One of the most effective ways to release resistance is through mindfulness. Mindfulness brings you into the present moment, where resistance cannot exist. Resistance thrives in the stories your mind creates about the past or future, regrets about what has been, or worries about what might come. In the present moment, there is only what is, and in that space you can find peace. Practice mindfulness by observing your thoughts without judgment, focusing on your breath, or simply being fully present with whatever you are doing. Another practice that helps in letting go of resistance is self-compassion. Often resistance is directed inward. We resist our own imperfections, mistakes, or feelings of vulnerability. This inner resistance creates a cycle of shame and self-criticism that keeps us stuck. By practicing self-compassion, you can break this cycle. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer to a dear friend. Acknowledge your struggles without judgment, and remind yourself that it is okay to be human. Letting go of resistance does not mean you stop pursuing your goals or dreams. It means you stop fighting against the current and start flowing with it. When you let go of resistance, your actions become inspired rather than forced. You are no longer driven by fear or frustration, but by a sense of joy and alignment. This shift in energy makes all the difference. What once felt like an uphill battle now feels effortless. Opportunities arise, solutions present themselves, and progress happens naturally. Resistance often disguises itself as control. We believe that if we can just manage every detail, we can make things go our way. But control is an illusion. The more we try to control, the more resistance we create. True power comes from surrender, not control. Surrender does not mean giving up. It means letting go of the need to force outcomes and trusting that life will unfold in the best possible way. Paradoxically, it is in surrender that you find your greatest strength. When you let go of resistance, you open yourself to the flow of life. You align with the natural rhythm of the universe, where everything happens in its perfect time and order. You become a co-creator with life, rather than its adversary. The energy you once spent on struggle and frustration is now available for creativity, joy, and growth. Letting go of resistance is not a one-time event, it is a daily practice, a continual choice to release and trust. Life becomes infinitely more beautiful when you let go of resistance. You no longer carry the heavy burden of trying to control the uncontrollable. You free yourself to experience the present moment fully, and to embrace the endless possibilities that arise when you are in flow. Let go of resistance, and you will discover a deeper peace, a greater ease, and a life that feels as if it is unfolding perfectly, just as it is meant to be. At 3 in the morning, when the world is still and silence envelops the earth, there lies a sacred opportunity. It is in this stillness that the divine whispers, and your soul becomes attuned to the eternal truths of life. If you find yourself awake at this hour, know that it is no accident. It is a calling, an invitation to step into communion with the infinite. Close your eyes and center yourself. Feel the quiet embrace of this moment. Say within, I am thankful for the blessings I have, and the blessings yet unseen. I am one with the Creator, and all that I desire is already mine. Speak these words with the conviction of one who knows the truth. Feel the gratitude swell in your heart, as if your prayer has already been answered. Picture yourself in possession of what you seek. See it, feel it, live it in your imagination. This is not mere wishful thinking, it is the act of creation itself. As you pray, release every worry and doubt. Trust that the divine is working through you, aligning the unseen forces of the universe to bring your desires to life. This trust is the key that unlocks all doors. Say to yourself, I let go of all fear and trust in the perfect timing of life. The still hour of 3 a.m. is a bridge between the conscious and the eternal. Use it wisely. Speak your prayer with faith, feel it with love, and let the universe carry it forth. What you seek is seeking you, and in this sacred moment, you are one with its manifestation. In the quiet embrace of the early morning, when the clock strikes 3 and the world is wrapped in slumber, there exists a moment of profound significance. This is the still hour, a time untouched by the chaos of the day, when the mind is free from the incessant demands of the external world. It is a sacred interval, one that offers a gateway to the deeper realms of the self and the divine. Many dismiss these moments of wakefulness as mere interruptions of sleep, yet they are far more than that. They are invitations to enter the silence within, where the truest power resides. At this hour, the noise of the world is hushed, and even the air feels different. There is an unmistakable stillness, a tangible peace that envelops everything. This quiet is not merely external, it mirrors the quiet within. It is as if the universe itself pauses, creating a perfect space for reflection, prayer, and connection with the infinite. In this stillness, distractions fade and clarity begins to emerge. The questions that seemed so pressing during the day lose their urgency, and answers that eluded you start to unfold effortlessly. This is the time when the conscious mind loosens its grip, and the subconscious becomes more accessible. The barriers between the seen and the unseen, the known and the unknown, grow thinner. It is no coincidence that many great spiritual practices emphasize the power of prayer or meditation during the early morning hours. This is when the veil between you and the divine is at its thinnest, making it the perfect time to align yourself with the higher vibrations of love, peace, and creation. If you find yourself awake at this hour, resist the urge to see it as a disturbance. Instead, view it as a sacred calling, a reminder that you are more than your physical existence. You have been given a rare moment to commune with the essence of who you truly are. Sit in stillness and let your thoughts settle like sediment in a glass of water. As the agitation ceases, clarity will emerge, and the true nature of your being will shine through. Use this time to turn inward, to quiet the endless chatter of the mind. Breathe deeply and slowly, allowing each inhale to draw you closer to the present moment, and each exhale to release the weight of yesterday. In this space of presence, the power of the still hour begins to reveal itself. You start to realize that the answers you seek do not come from outside of you, they come from within. The still hour is not about asking for more, but about recognizing that everything you need is already here. Prayer during this hour takes on a unique quality. It is not the hurried, half-hearted prayer often offered in times of stress, but a prayer that rises from the depths of your soul. It is a conversation with the divine, spoken not in words but in feelings. This is the time to express gratitude for the blessings in your life and the blessings yet to come. Gratitude opens the door to abundance, for when you give thanks as if your desires have already been fulfilled, you align yourself with the energy of manifestation. This is also the hour of vision. Close your eyes and imagine the life you wish to create. See it vividly, as if it is already yours. Feel the joy, the peace, the fulfillment that comes with it. This act of visualization is not a mere daydream, it is a powerful act of creation. In the still hour, your mind becomes the fertile ground, and your thoughts the seeds that will grow into your reality. What you plant here will take root and flourish in the days and weeks to come. But perhaps the greatest gift of the still hour is the opportunity to let go. In the silence, you are reminded that you do not have to control everything. The universe operates with perfect order and timing, and your role is not to force but to flow. As you sit in the quiet, let go of your worries, your fears, and your doubts. Trust that the same power that keeps the stars in the sky and the planets in their orbits is working in your life as well. Surrender to this truth, and you will find a peace that surpasses all understanding. When the still hour passes and the first light of dawn begins to break, you will feel a renewed sense of clarity and purpose. The moments spent in silence and communion will have left their mark, and you will carry their peace into the day ahead. The still hour is not just a time of reflection, it is a time of transformation. It is in these moments of stillness that the seeds of greatness are sown, and the foundation for a life of fulfillment is laid. So, if you find yourself awake at 3 a.m., embrace it. Step into the stillness with an open heart and a quiet mind. Allow the power of this sacred hour to envelop you, to guide you, and to transform you. For it is in the stillness that the divine speaks, and in the silence that you will hear the truth of who you are. In the quiet hours of the night, when the world is still and your mind drifts between wakefulness and slumber, you stand at the gate of the subconscious mind. This is a realm of infinite possibility, where thoughts and beliefs take form, shaping the fabric of your reality. The subconscious mind is not bound by the constraints of logic or the rigid structures of the conscious mind. It is fluid, creative, and deeply powerful. To access this realm is to hold the key to transformation, for the subconscious is the seat of all creation. The gate to the subconscious is most open in moments of stillness, especially during the early hours of the morning when distractions are few, and the chatter of the conscious mind begins to fade. At this time, your brain waves naturally shift to a state of relaxation, entering the borderlands of the subconscious. Here, the mind is malleable, receptive, and ready to absorb impressions. What you think, feel, and imagine in these moments sinks deeply into the subconscious, becoming the blueprint for your future experiences. Many underestimate the power of their subconscious mind, thinking it a passive storehouse for memories and habits. But the truth is far more profound. The subconscious is not merely reactive, it is the engine of creation. Every belief you hold, every fear you nurture, and every desire you cherish is housed in this vast inner realm. And the subconscious does not judge or filter, it accepts as truth whatever is impressed upon it, whether through repetitive thought, deep emotion, or vivid imagination. To approach the gate of the subconscious mind, you must first understand its language. Unlike the conscious mind, which relies on logic and words, the subconscious speaks in feelings, images, and symbols. This is why visualization is so effective. It bypasses the analytical faculties of the conscious mind and speaks directly to the subconscious. When you vividly imagine a scene and infuse it with emotion, the subconscious accepts it as real and begins to align the circumstances of your life to match this internal vision. Consider this: every habit you have, every automatic response, and even the way you perceive yourself and the world are all rooted in your subconscious mind. These patterns were not formed overnight. They are the result of repeated thoughts and experiences that have been etched into the subconscious over time. But just as these patterns were created, they can be altered. So, the gate to the subconscious mind is always open, waiting for you to consciously shape its contents. One of the most effective ways to access the subconscious is through prayer or affirmation, spoken with conviction and feeling during moments of stillness. When you speak words of truth and possibility, and when you feel them deeply, They bypass the conscious mind and take root in the subconscious. For instance, saying, "I am abundant," with genuine belief and gratitude plants the seed of abundance in the fertile soil of the subconscious. Over time, this seed grows, manifesting as tangible experiences of prosperity in your life. Yet, accessing the subconscious is not merely about implanting positive thoughts, it is also about uprooting the weeds of doubt and fear that may have taken hold. The subconscious does not distinguish between helpful and harmful beliefs, it simply reflects what has been consistently impressed upon it. This is why becoming aware of your thoughts and emotions is so crucial. The conscious mind serves as the gatekeeper, deciding what is allowed to pass into the subconscious. If you catch yourself dwelling on negativity or entertaining self-defeating beliefs, you have the power to change the narrative. Replace these thoughts with affirmations of truth, beauty, and possibility, and watch as the subconscious begins to align with your higher intentions. The power of the subconscious mind is amplified by repetition. Just as a river carves a path through rock over time, repeated impressions carve new pathways in the subconscious. This is why consistent prayer, affirmation, or visualization is so effective. Each repetition strengthens the new belief, making it a dominant force in your inner world. And as your inner world changes, so too does your outer reality, for the subconscious is always working to bring into physical form that which it holds as true. It is important to approach the gate to the subconscious mind with reverence and intentionality. This is not a place for idle thoughts or fleeting desires. It is a sacred space where the seeds of your destiny are planted. Treat it as such, and you will find that the subconscious responds with profound creativity and intelligence. It will guide you, inspire you, and bring into your life opportunities and solutions that seem almost miraculous. In the stillness of the night, when the veil between the conscious and subconscious is thin, you have the power to shape your reality in ways that defy logic. The gate to the subconscious mind is always open, but it is your conscious choice that determines what passes through. Approach it with faith, clarity, and love, and you will unlock the limitless potential that resides within you. This is the secret to transformation, the understanding that the outer world is but a reflection of the inner, and that the subconscious mind is the bridge between the two. When it comes to prayer, words are often seen as the most important aspect. Yet, the true power of prayer lies not in the words spoken, but in the feelings they evoke. It is the feeling behind the prayer that gives it life, that connects it to the unseen forces shaping your reality. Without feeling, prayer is little more than empty recitation, a hollow act that fails to touch the depths of your being. But when infused with genuine emotion, prayer becomes a transformative force, capable of bridging the gap between desire and manifestation. To pray effectively is to feel deeply. It is not enough to ask for what you want, you must feel as though your prayer has already been answered. This is the essence of faith, not hoping for a distant outcome, but embodying the reality of your desire in the present moment. When you pray with feeling, you align your inner world with the reality you seek, and in doing so, you set the wheels of creation in motion. Consider for a moment the power of gratitude. When you pray with a sense of heartfelt gratitude, you are not merely asking for blessings, you are affirming that they already exist. Gratitude is a profound acknowledgement of the abundance already present in your life, and it creates a vibrational match for even greater blessings to flow to you. Imagine praying for healing, not with desperation, but with a feeling of joy and relief, as though the healing has already occurred. This shift in feeling transforms your prayer from a request into a declaration of truth, and it is this truth that the universe responds to. Feeling is the language of the subconscious mind, the creative powerhouse within you. Unlike the conscious mind, which deals in logic and analysis, the subconscious responds to emotion and imagery. When you pray with feeling, you bypass the barriers of doubt and disbelief that often reside in the conscious mind. Your emotions become the vehicle that carries your prayer to the depths of the subconscious, where it takes root and begins to shape your reality. This is why it is essential to cultivate the right emotional state when you pray. If your prayer is filled with fear, worry, or lack, those feelings will be impressed upon your subconscious. perpetuating the very conditions you wish to escape. Instead, approach prayer with feelings of love, peace, and confidence. Feel the joy of already having what you desire, the relief of knowing that your needs are met, and the serenity of trusting in the divine order of the universe. Visualization can be a powerful tool to evoke the feeling of prayer. Close your eyes and picture yourself in the reality you wish to create. See it vividly, as though it is happening right now. Feel the emotions that this reality would bring, whether it is the warmth of love, the security of abundance, or the vitality of health. Let these feelings wash over you as you pray, for they are the substance of your faith. The stronger the emotion, the more powerfully your prayer is impressed upon the subconscious and the universe. Another important aspect of feeling in prayer is the state of surrender. True prayer is not about striving or forcing, it is about letting go and trusting. When you pray with feeling, you must also release any attachment to the outcome. Feel the joy of having your desire fulfilled, and then let it go, trusting that it is already on its way. This act of surrender signals your faith in the process and allows the divine forces to work unhindered. Holding on to doubt or anxiety only creates resistance, blocking the flow of blessings into your life. The feeling of the prayer is also a form of alignment. When you pray with the right feelings, you align yourself with the frequency of your desires. Every emotion carries a vibrational frequency, and when you align with the frequency of love, abundance, or peace, you naturally attract those experiences into your life. This is not a matter of chance or luck, it is a universal law. What you feel deeply and consistently becomes your reality. It is also worth noting that the feeling of the prayer can uplift not only your own life but also the lives of others. When you pray for someone with genuine compassion and love, you send out a ripple of positive energy that can touch them in ways beyond comprehension. This is why prayers for healing, protection, or guidance are so powerful when they come from a place of heartfelt emotion. Your feelings infuse the prayer with a vitality that transcends words, reaching the very soul of the person you are praying for. The feeling of the prayer is what transforms it from a mere ritual into a profound act of creation. It is not the length of your prayer or the eloquence of your words that matters, it is the sincerity and intensity of your feelings. When you pray with feeling, you step into the role of co-creator, shaping your reality in partnership with the divine. You declare, through your emotions, that what you seek is already yours, and you trust that the universe will bring it into form. So the next time you pray, pause and center yourself. Feel the gratitude, joy, and certainty of your desire fulfilled. Let your heart speak louder than your words, and trust that your prayer, carried by the power of feeling, is already answered. In this way, you harness the true essence of prayer, a bridge between the seen and the unseen, between longing and fulfillment, between your soul and the infinite. To be united with the infinite is to recognize the boundless connection between yourself and the source of all creation. It is an awakening to the truth that you are not separate from the divine, nor are you merely a passive participant in life's unfolding. Instead, you are an expression of the infinite, a vessel through which its creative power flows. This unity is not something to be achieved, but something to be remembered, for it has always been your natural state. The infinite is not an entity outside of you, distant and unreachable. It is the very essence of your being, the eternal presence within you that transcends time, space, and circumstance. This presence, often called by many names God, the universe, or the divine, is the source of all life and the wellspring of infinite potential. To align with this truth is to step into your role as a co-creator, to recognize that the same power that spins galaxies into existence dwells within you. The recognition of unity with the infinite begins with awareness. Most of humanity lives in a state of separation, perceiving themselves as limited individuals navigating a world of external forces. This illusion of separation creates fear, doubt, and struggle, for it obscures the profound truth of your inherent divinity. To break free from this illusion, you must turn inward, quieting the noise of the external world and listening to the still, small voice within. It is in this silence that the infinite speaks, reminding you of your oneness with all that is. In this oneness there is no lack, no limitation, and no fear. The infinite knows no boundaries, and as its expression you are equally boundless. Your desires, dreams, and aspirations are not random, they are the whispers of the infinite seeking to manifest through you. To be united with the infinite is to trust these whispers, to understand that your deepest desires are not separate from the divine will, but are, in fact, its unfolding through your life. Faith plays a vital role in this unity. Faith is not blind hope or wishful thinking, it is the deep knowing that the infinite is always working in your favor, even when appearances suggest otherwise. When you act in faith, you align yourself with the flow of the infinite, allowing its power to move through you unhindered. This faith is strengthened by understanding that the infinite is inherently good, that its nature is abundance, love, and harmony. When you trust in this nature, you release fear and resistance, opening yourself to the miraculous. The key to experiencing unity with the infinite lies in your imagination and feelings. Imagination is the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the conscious and the subconscious. When you imagine with feeling, you are speaking the language of the infinite, impressing upon it the reality you wish to create. The infinite responds not to idle thoughts, but to the conviction and emotion behind them. To imagine yourself as abundant, loved, or healed is to plant the seeds of those realities in the fertile soil of the infinite. This unity also invites surrender. To be one with the infinite is not to control every detail of your life, but to trust in the divine intelligence that orchestrates all things. Surrender does not mean passivity, it means releasing the need to struggle and allowing the flow of the infinite to guide you. It is an active trust, a partnership in which you do your part by aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the vision you hold, while leaving the rest to the wisdom of the infinite. When you align with the infinite, you realize that life is not happening to you but through you. The challenges you face are not punishments but opportunities for growth, designed to deepen your understanding of your unity with the divine. In every obstacle lies a gift, and in every moment, the infinite is calling you to rise into a greater awareness of your power and purpose. This unity also transforms your relationships with others. When you see yourself as one with the infinite, you begin to see others in the same light. You understand that the divine essence within you is the same essence within them, and this recognition fosters compassion, forgiveness, and love. Our unity with the infinite dissolves the illusion of separation, replacing it with the truth of interconnectedness. To live in this unity is to live a life of purpose, peace, and power. It is to move through the world with the quiet confidence that you are supported, guided, and loved by an intelligence far greater than your individual self. This is not a fleeting experience but a continual state of being, a way of life that transforms the mundane into the miraculous. The infinite is always present, always within you, waiting for you to awaken to its reality. The journey to this awakening is not one of striving but of surrender, not of seeking but of remembering. When you embrace this unity, you step into the fullness of your potential, realizing that you are not merely a drop in the ocean, but the ocean itself in a drop. This is the truth of your being, the essence of your existence, and the ultimate realization of your divine nature. Gratitude is the key that unlocks the gates of abundance and fulfillment. It is not merely an acknowledgement of blessings, but a transformative force that aligns you with the infinite flow of divine provision. The prayer of gratitude is more than a set of words spoken in thanks. It is an act of deep connection with the source of all life. It transcends circumstances and appearances, allowing you to draw closer to the essence of creation, where the seeds of your desires are nurtured and brought to fruition. When you pray with gratitude, you declare that you already have what you seek. This is not a matter of pretense, but a profound act of faith. Gratitude affirms that your desires are not distant possibilities, but present realities waiting to be revealed. It shifts your focus from lack to abundance, from need to fulfillment. By expressing gratitude for what is yet unseen, you call it into being, for the universe responds to your state of belief and feeling. The prayer of gratitude begins with a recognition of the blessings already present in your life. Even in moments of difficulty, there is always something to be thankful for: a breath of air, the warmth of sunlight, the love of another, or simply the gift of existence. By focusing on these blessings, no matter how small, you create a foundation of appreciation upon which greater blessings can be built. Gratitude transforms your perspective, allowing you to see the goodness that surrounds you and to invite more of it into your experience. To pray with gratitude is to acknowledge the divine order that underlies all things. It is an acceptance of the truth that everything unfolds in perfect timing, even when it does not align with your expectations. When you trust in this order, you release the need for control and surrender to the wisdom of the infinite. Gratitude in prayer is not conditional upon receiving what you want. It is an expression of trust that the universe is always working for your highest good. The act of expressing gratitude opens the heart. It shifts your emotional state, lifting you out of fear, doubt, and worry. In this elevated state, your prayers carry a higher vibration, one that resonates with the frequency of love, abundance, and joy. Gratitude is a bridge between the conscious and subconscious mind, impressing upon the latter the reality you wish to experience. When your prayer is filled with gratitude, it becomes a powerful affirmation that aligns your inner world with the outer reality you seek to create. Gratitude is also a form of alignment with the divine. When you express thanks for your blessings, you acknowledge the infinite source from which they flow. This acknowledgement strengthens your connection to the divine, reminding you that you are not separate from the source of your good. In this connection, you find peace, knowing that you are always supported, guided, and provided for. The prayer of gratitude is a conversation with the divine, one that deepens your relationship with the infinite and reaffirms your place in its boundless flow. Visualizing your desires as already fulfilled can amplify the power of your gratitude. As you pray, imagine yourself living the reality you seek. See it clearly in your mind's eye and feel the emotions that accompany it. Let the joy, relief, and appreciation fill your heart as if it is already yours. This act of imagination, coupled with heartfelt gratitude, creates a magnetic force that draws your desires into your life. You are not merely hoping for your prayer to be answered, you are declaring that it is already done. Gratitude also teaches you the art of receiving. Many struggle to accept the blessings they pray for, feeling unworthy or hesitant to embrace the abundance that life offers. The prayer of gratitude dissolves these barriers, reminding you that you are deserving of every good thing. When you give thanks in advance, you open yourself to receive with grace and humility. This openness allows the flow of blessings to move freely, unimpeded by doubt or resistance. The beauty of the prayer of gratitude is that it requires no special conditions or circumstances. It can be spoken in moments of joy or sorrow, in times of plenty or need. Gratitude does not wait for the perfect moment, it creates the perfect moment. By giving thanks in all situations, you affirm your trust in the divine plan and invite the blessings of the infinite into your life. The prayer of gratitude is a practice of faith, a declaration of unity with the divine, and an acknowledgement of the abundance that is your birthright. It is a simple yet profound act that transforms your relationship with life, shifting your focus from what is missing to what is present and possible. In this state of gratitude, you become a co-creator with the divine, shaping your reality through the power of appreciation. As you embrace the prayer of gratitude, you step into the flow of infinite provision. You awaken to the truth that everything you seek is already within you, waiting to be expressed. Gratitude becomes not just a practice, but a way of being, a constant recognition of the goodness that surrounds you and the boundless possibilities that lie ahead. Through the prayer of gratitude, you align with the infinite, allowing its love, abundance, and wisdom to flow freely into every aspect of your life. Visualization in prayer is a powerful tool that bridges the gap between the seen and the unseen, the physical and the spiritual. It is not merely the act of imagining, but an intentional practice of bringing the desired outcome into focus with clarity and feeling. When you engage in visualization during prayer, you do not beg or plead. Instead, you step into the reality you wish to create. You move beyond words into a state of deep communion with the divine, shaping the unseen into form. Prayer, when combined with visualization, becomes an act of creation. The mind, imbued with divine power, has the capacity to shape reality. The images you hold in your mind and the emotions you attach to them are like seeds planted in the fertile soil of the infinite. When nurtured with faith and conviction, these seeds grow into the experiences of your life. Visualization allows you to harness this creative power consciously, directing it toward your desires with precision. Letting go and trusting is one of the most profound yet challenging principles in life. It requires you to release control over the details of how and when your desires will manifest, surrendering instead to the infinite wisdom of the divine. This act of letting go is not an act of giving up, it is a conscious decision to trust that the universe is working in your favor, orchestrating all things for your highest good. When you hold tightly to your desires, gripping them with fear or desperation, you create resistance. This resistance stems from doubt, anxiety, and a need to control outcomes. The energy of fear blocks the natural flow of blessings into your life, much like a dam obstructs the flow of a river. Letting go removes this resistance, allowing the infinite power of creation to move freely and effortlessly through you. To let go is to trust in a higher order. It is a recognition that your human perspective is limited and that there is a divine intelligence far greater than your understanding. This intelligence knows the perfect timing and method for your desires to unfold. Trusting this wisdom means stepping out of the way, allowing the divine to work without interference. It is an act of faith, a declaration that you believe in the unseen forces guiding your life. Letting go does not mean abandoning your dreams or desires. On the contrary, it means holding your vision with unwavering faith while releasing the need to control every step of the journey. It is about shifting from a state of attachment to a state of trust. When you let go, you create space for miracles to occur, outcomes that often exceed your expectations. The universe is boundless in its capacity to create, and when you release your grip, you invite infinite possibilities into your life. Trust requires patience, for the divine operates on its own timeline. This timeline may not align with your expectations, but it is always perfect. Impatience arises from a lack of trust, a belief that things should happen according to your schedule. By letting go and trusting, you align yourself with divine timing, understanding that delays are not denials but part of a larger, unseen plan. This patience brings peace, for you no longer struggle against the current of life. Letting go also means releasing the need for specific outcomes. Often we become fixated on one particular way for our desires to manifest, limiting the infinite ways the divine can answer our prayers. Trust allows you to remain open to possibilities beyond your imagination. It is a recognition that the divine knows what is best for you, even when it doesn't align with your expectations. When you let go of rigid outcomes, you open yourself to receive blessings in forms you may never have considered. The practice of letting go and trusting begins with surrender. Surrender is not an act of weakness but of strength. It is a conscious choice to release the burden of control and place your trust in the divine. This surrender is not passive, it is active faith. It involves taking inspired action when prompted while releasing the need to force results. Surrendering means aligning with the flow of life rather than resisting it. Gratitude plays a vital role in this process. When you express gratitude for what you already have and for what is yet to come, you affirm your trust in the divine. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, reinforcing your belief that the universe is working on your behalf. It is a powerful reminder that you are already supported and that more blessings are on their way. Through gratitude, you cultivate a sense of peace and contentment, even before your desires have materialized. Visualization can also support the process of letting go. By vividly imagining your desires as already fulfilled, you impress them upon your subconscious mind, setting the creative forces of the universe into motion. Once this vision is firmly planted, you can release it with confidence, trusting that the divine will bring it into reality. This combination of focused intention and surrendered trust is a powerful formula for manifestation. The act of letting go requires self-awareness. It calls you to examine your fears, doubts, and attachments, recognizing where you are holding on too tightly. As you become aware of these patterns, you can consciously choose to release them, replacing fear with faith and anxiety with trust. This inner work is essential, for it aligns your thoughts and emotions with the energy of trust, creating a fertile ground for your desires to manifest. Letting go and trusting is ultimately an act of love. It is a recognition that you are deeply cared for by the divine, that your needs and desires are known, and that you are never alone. Trusting means resting in the assurance that all things are working together for your good, even when the path is unclear. It is a peaceful surrender to the infinite, a quiet confidence that what is meant for you will never pass you by. As you embrace the practice of letting go and trusting, you will find freedom. You release the weight of worry and step into a state of flow, where life unfolds with grace and ease. In this state, you become a co-creator with the divine, shaping your reality not through force, but through faith. Letting go is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning of a life lived in harmony with the infinite, where trust becomes your guiding light and love your constant companion. When you close your eyes and feel the tug of a deep longing, understand this truth: what you desire is not separate from you. It exists now, waiting for you to claim it. The very act of yearning is a sacred connection, a divine whisper telling you it is already yours. Desires are not accidents. They are messages from the infinite, calling you toward your destiny. The things you seek are not far away. They are drawn to you as surely as the sun draws life from the earth. But to claim them, you must first believe. Begin by asking yourself, what would it feel like to have this now? Close the gap between what you seek and what you are by embodying its essence in the present. The secret is not in the chase, but in the stillness, the knowing that you already possess it. The world you experience mirrors the beliefs you hold. If you feel lack, you will see lack. But when you cultivate abundance within, when you act, think, and feel as though your desires are fulfilled, the outer world must conform. Do not fret over how or when. Time is but a shadow of eternity, and what is truly yours cannot miss you. The unseen hand that planted this desire within you is the same hand orchestrating its fulfillment. Rest in the assurance that all is unfolding perfectly. So stop striving. Instead, align. Seek not with desperation but with trust. For as you seek, so you shall find, not because it is out there, but because it is already within you. What you seek is seeking you, and together you are destined to meet. Every desire you hold is born from the fertile soil of your imagination, a powerful force that shapes and defines the reality you experience. When you dream of something, whether it is love, success, health, or happiness, it is not a distant, unreachable concept. No, it is a seed planted in your consciousness, waiting to take root and grow. Imagination is not mere fantasy, it is the creative power through which life manifests. What you imagine with clarity and conviction becomes the blueprint for the life you will inevitably live. Consider for a moment how everything you see in the physical world was once an idea in someone's mind. The homes we live in, the clothes we wear, the technology we use, all of these began as intangible concepts in the imagination of their creators. In the same way, your inner world of imagination is the starting point for everything you wish to experience. Your mind, when fully engaged in the act of imagining, aligns with the energy of creation itself. This alignment becomes the bridge between the unseen and the seen, the possible and the tangible. When you allow yourself to imagine, you are engaging with a force that transcends logic and reason. Imagination is not bound by the limitations of the physical world or the constraints of time. It moves freely, weaving together fragments of possibility into a cohesive vision. By focusing on this vision with unwavering faith, you are giving it life and setting into motion a process that will bring it into form. The key to aligning imagination with reality lies in belief. To imagine something and then dismiss it as impossible is to sever the connection between the dream and its realization. Instead, when you imagine, you must feel the truth of it in your being. You must embrace the joy, the relief, the satisfaction, or the peace that your imagined outcome brings, as though it is already a part of your life. This feeling is the language through which your imagination communicates with reality. It is the frequency that attracts what you seek into your experience. Your imagination works most powerfully when it is free from doubt and fear. These emotions act as barriers, distorting the purity of your vision. To align fully, you must cultivate trust in the unseen, a trust that allows you to imagine boldly and without hesitation. Even if the world around you seems to contradict your vision, hold steadfast in the knowledge that your imagination is planting the seeds for a future that has yet to reveal itself. Reality is not fixed, it is malleable and responsive to the energy you project through your thoughts and feelings. This is why it is essential to be deliberate in what you imagine. Your mind does not distinguish between positive and negative creations, it responds equally to both. If you dwell on fears, failures, or doubts, you are unwittingly aligning with a reality that reflects those states. But when you consciously direct your imagination toward what uplifts and inspires you, you align with a reality filled with possibilities that reflect the beauty of your vision. It is not enough to simply imagine, you must also act as though your imagined reality is true. This does not mean forcing or striving, but rather embodying the qualities and behaviors of someone who already lives in that reality. If you imagine abundance, walk through life with gratitude and generosity. If you imagine love, carry yourself with confidence and openness. By doing so, you reinforce the alignment between your inner world and the external circumstances that match it. Imagination, when aligned with reality, creates a sense of ease and flow in your life. The struggle diminishes because you are no longer trying to force things to happen. Instead, you are moving in harmony with the natural currents of creation, allowing your imagined world to unfold effortlessly. You begin to see signs and opportunities that confirm your alignment, as though the universe itself is conspiring to help you. These synchronicities are not coincidences, they are evidence of the alignment you have achieved through your imagination. It is important to remember that the alignment of imagination and reality is not a one-time event but an ongoing process. Life may present challenges or setbacks, but these are not indications that your imagination has failed. They are opportunities to refine your vision, to deepen your belief, and to strengthen your alignment. Every moment offers a chance to return to the creative power of your imagination, to realign with the reality you wish to experience. Imagination is a sacred tool, a gift that allows you to transcend the limitations of the present and create a future that reflects the deepest desires of your heart. When you align your imagination with your reality, you become a co-creator with the infinite, shaping a life that is not only fulfilling, but also a true reflection of the power and beauty within you. Trust in your imagination, nurture it with faith, and watch as it transforms the unseen into the seen, the intangible into the tangible, and the impossible into the inevitable. Every desire you hold in your heart is far more than a fleeting wish or a random thought. Desires are the whispers of the divine, gently nudging you toward the life you were meant to live. They are signals, sacred and profound, guiding you to align with your highest self and purpose. These longings are not arbitrary, they are placed within you by the same force that governs the stars and the seasons. Your desires are part of the divine design, meant to awaken you to the limitless possibilities that lie within you. The moment a desire is born within you, it is a sign that its fulfillment is possible. The divine never teases or taunts. It does not plant dreams in your heart to leave them unfulfilled. Instead, each desire comes with the promise of its realization, provided you nurture it with faith and commitment. This realization, however, requires you to recognize that your desires are not separate from you. They are already a part of your being, waiting for you to claim them as your own. Desires often feel like yearnings for something beyond reach, but this perception is an illusion. The truth is that the divine places desires in your heart to draw your attention to what is already possible for you. They are like a compass, pointing you in the direction of growth, expansion, and fulfillment. When you honor these desires, you are honoring the divine within you. You are acknowledging that you are not here to live a life of mediocrity or limitation, but to experience the fullness of creation. Many people struggle with desires because they confuse them with selfishness or greed. They suppress their longings, believing they are unworthy or that it is wrong to want more. But this suppression only leads to frustration and stagnation. Desires are not meant to be denied, they are meant to be embraced and explored. They are not signs of lack or neediness, but of the creative energy within you seeking expression. To deny your desires is to deny the divine force that seeks to work through you. The beauty of desires is that they are deeply personal. No two people have the exact same set of longings, and this individuality is by design. Your desires are tailored to you, reflecting your unique gifts, talents, and potential. They are meant to inspire you, to pull you out of complacency, and to challenge you to grow into the person you are capable of becoming. When you feel a strong desire, it is a call to action, a call to step into a version of yourself that is more aligned with your divine essence. The fulfillment of your desires is not just about acquiring things or achieving goals. It is about the transformation that occurs within you as you pursue them. Every step you take toward your desires brings you closer to the divine. It teaches you lessons of patience, resilience, trust, and faith. The journey itself is as important as the destination, because it is through this journey that you come to understand the depth of your own power and connection to the infinite. Desires also serve as a bridge between the seen and the unseen, the material and the spiritual. When you hold a desire in your heart, you are connecting to a reality that already exists in the unseen realm. Your task is to bring that reality into the material world through your thoughts, feelings, and actions. This requires more than wishful thinking, it requires alignment. You must align your inner world with the reality you seek, trusting that the divine is orchestrating everything to bring your desire to fruition. There will be moments when your desires seem delayed or out of reach, and doubt may creep in. In these moments, remember that the divine's timing is perfect. Delays are not denials, they are opportunities for growth and refinement. Sometimes the path to your desire involves preparation that you cannot yet see. Trust that every step, even the ones that feel like detours, is leading you exactly where you need to go. Desires are also a form of communication with the divine. When you acknowledge and pursue them, you are engaging in a dialogue with the infinite. You are saying, I am ready to step into the life that is meant for me. And the divine responds by opening doors, providing resources, and guiding you in ways that may seem miraculous. The more you trust this process, the more clearly you will see the divine hand at work in your life. Your desires are sacred. They are not to be trivialized or dismissed. They are the divine's way of reminding you that you are a creator, capable of bringing the invisible into the visible, the imagined into the real. When you honor your desires, you are not only creating a life of fulfillment for yourself, but also contributing to the greater good. For as you grow and expand, you inspire others to do the same, and the ripple effects of your alignment touch the world around you. Trust in your desires. See them as divine signals, pointing you toward your highest good. Embrace them with gratitude and faith, knowing that they are not separate from you, but a part of the divine plan unfolding through you. With every desire you pursue, you are aligning more deeply with the infinite, stepping into the truth of who you are, a co-creator with the divine, capable of manifesting a life that reflects the beauty and power within you. At its core, the law of assumption operates on the premise that your outer world is a reflection of your inner state. The assumptions you hold in your mind are like seeds planted in the soil of your subconscious. Whatever you assume to be true is nurtured by your thoughts and emotions, eventually blossoming into your external reality. If you assume abundance, abundance will appear. If you assume lack, lack will dominate your experience. The world conforms to the dominant beliefs you hold, whether you are aware of them or not. The process of assumption begins with your thoughts and feelings. When you imagine something and feel it as real, you are creating a state of being that aligns with that reality. Your subconscious mind, which does not distinguish between imagination and fact, accepts this state as truth and works tirelessly to bring it to fruition. This is why your assumptions must be carefully chosen. To assume the worst is to invite it into your life, while to assume the best is to align yourself with the highest possibilities. The power of the law of assumption lies in its simplicity. You do not need to struggle, beg, or plead to bring about your desires. Instead, you need only assume their fulfillment. Imagine the feeling of already having what you desire and dwell in that feeling as though it is your current reality. This act of assuming shifts your consciousness and aligns you with the frequency of what you seek. The outer world then adjusts to reflect this inner shift, often in ways that seem effortless or even miraculous. The law of assumption also requires persistence and discipline. It is not enough to momentarily imagine your desired state. You must sustain this assumption until it becomes second nature. Doubt and fear are the primary obstacles to this process. They creep in when the evidence of your senses contradicts your assumption. But you must remember that the physical world is not the cause of your experience, it is the effect. To waver in your assumption because of what you currently see is to allow the outer world to dictate your reality rather than the other way around. This is where faith becomes crucial. Faith is not blind optimism, but an unwavering trust in the creative power of your assumptions. It is the conviction that the unseen is just as real as the seen, and that your inner world is the true source of your external experiences. When you assume your desires as already fulfilled, you are acting on faith, and this faith moves mountains. It opens doors, creates opportunities, and brings people and circumstances into your life that align with your vision. The beauty of the law of assumption is that it puts you in the driver's seat of your life. You are not at the mercy of fate, circumstances, or the opinions of others. You are the creator of your reality, and your assumptions are the tools through which you shape it. This understanding empowers you to take full responsibility for your life, knowing that whatever you desire is within your reach if you are willing to assume it with conviction. It is also important to recognize that the law of assumption works for everyone, whether they are aware of it or not. Many people unknowingly assume negativity, scarcity, or failure, and then wonder why their lives are filled with struggle. By becoming conscious of your assumptions, you can break free from this cycle and begin to create deliberately. This requires introspection and self-awareness. Pay attention to your dominant thoughts and beliefs, and ask yourself if they align with the reality you wish to experience. If not, change them. You have the power to rewrite the script of your life at any moment. As you practice the law of assumption, you will notice subtle yet profound shifts in your reality. Synchronicities will occur, opportunities will present themselves, and challenges will seem to resolve with ease. These are not coincidences, but the natural unfolding of your assumptions. They are signs that your inner world and outer world are coming into alignment, creating a life that reflects your deepest desires. The law of assumption is a reminder of your divine nature. It shows you that you are not a passive observer of life, but an active participant in its creation. By assuming the best, you align yourself with the infinite possibilities available to you. You step into a reality where your desires are not distant dreams, but living truths, waiting to be experienced. Trust in the power of your assumptions, and let them guide you to a life of abundance, joy, and fulfillment. The world you experience is not an independent entity, separate from your thoughts and feelings. Instead, it is a perfect reflection of your inner world, mirroring back to you the dominant beliefs, emotions, and assumptions you hold within. This principle, often overlooked, is one of the most empowering truths of existence. You create your reality from the inside out. Life is a mirror, faithfully responding to your inner state and projecting it outward as the circumstances, relationships, and events you encounter. Many people believe they are at the mercy of external forces. They attribute their struggles to bad luck, difficult people, or circumstances beyond their control. Yet this perspective stems from a misunderstanding of the true nature of reality. What you see out there is not separate from what exists in here. The external world is merely a canvas, and your inner state is the brush that paints it. This means that to change your life, you must first change yourself. The mirror of life is impartial and unwavering. It does not judge or distort. It simply reflects. If you see chaos in your external world, it is a reflection of inner turmoil. If you experience love and harmony, it is a reflection of a peaceful, loving state within you. The mirror does not lie, it holds up an unflinching portrayal of your consciousness. This realization can be both humbling and liberating, for it places the power to transform your life squarely in your hands. One of the greatest challenges in understanding this principle is the tendency to blame others or external conditions for our experiences. When something goes wrong, it is easy to point fingers or feel like a victim. However, the mirror shows that everything you encounter is a projection of your inner state. This does not mean you are to blame for everything, but rather that you are the creator of your experiences, whether consciously or unconsciously. Taking responsibility for this is not an act of self-condemnation, it is an act of empowerment. When you understand that life mirrors your inner world, you realize that you have the power to rewrite the script. The key is to look within and identify the thoughts, beliefs, and emotions that are shaping your reality. Are they rooted in fear, doubt, and scarcity? Or are they anchored in love, faith, and abundance? Your external world will always reveal the truth of your inner world. If you do not like what you see, you must go within and make the necessary changes. This process begins with awareness. Pay attention to the patterns in your life. Do you repeatedly encounter the same types of challenges or attract similar people into your life? These recurring themes are not coincidences, they are reflections of your inner beliefs. Instead of resisting or blaming these experiences, view them as valuable feedback. They are showing you where your inner work is needed. By shifting your focus inward and addressing these patterns, you can break free from cycles of struggle and create a new reality. The mirror of the inner world also operates in subtle ways. It reflects not only your conscious thoughts, but also your subconscious beliefs and assumptions. These are the deeply ingrained ideas you may not even realize you hold, yet they have a profound impact on your reality. For example, if you subconsciously believe you are unworthy of love, you may find yourself in relationships that reinforce this belief. If you believe money is hard to come by, you may experience financial struggles. To uncover these hidden beliefs, you must practice self-reflection and be willing to confront uncomfortable truths. Once you become aware of the beliefs shaping your reality, the next step is to transform them. This requires more than wishful thinking, it requires deliberate effort and consistency. Begin by affirming new beliefs that align with the life you wish to create. Visualize the reality you desire and feel it as though it is already yours. This is not about denying your current circumstances, but about shifting your focus to a higher reality. The mirror will respond to this shift, reflecting back the changes you make within. It is important to approach this process with patience and trust. Just as a mirror does not instantly reflect a new image, when you change your expression, your external reality may take time to catch up with your inner shifts. Trust that the mirror is always responding, even when the changes are not immediately visible. Continue to nurture your inner world with positive thoughts, empowering beliefs, and elevated emotions, and the outer world will inevitably follow. The mirror of the inner world also teaches us the importance of self-love and acceptance. If you harbor self-criticism or resentment, the world will mirror these feelings back to you in the form of judgment or conflict. Conversely, when you cultivate love and compassion for yourself, you will find these qualities reflected in your interactions and experiences. The world becomes kinder, not because it has changed, but because you have. The mirror of life is your greatest teacher. It shows you who you are being in every moment and offers you the opportunity to grow and evolve. By understanding and embracing this principle, you can take full ownership of your reality and create a life that reflects the highest expression of your inner self. The power is within you, and the mirror is always there to guide you. Everything is now. This simple yet profound truth has the power to reshape your understanding of reality and transform your approach to life. The past and the future, as you often perceive them, are constructs of the mind. In the truest sense, only the present moment exists. The now is where all creation happens, where all possibilities converge, and where your power resides. To live in this understanding is to step into the timeless flow of life and embrace the infinite potential of the present. When you consider the past, you are not experiencing it as it once was, you are remembering it. Your mind recreates images, emotions, and stories, bringing them into your awareness in the present. Similarly, the future does not exist as a tangible reality, but as projections of your imagination, ideas, and expectations about what might come. These projections also occur in the now. Thus, both the past and the future are experienced through the lens of the present moment. This realization reveals that everything you think, feel, and create stems from your current state of being. Many people live their lives trapped in the illusions of time. They dwell on past mistakes or missed opportunities, carrying the weight of regret and guilt into their present. Others live in anxious anticipation of the future, worrying about what might go wrong or endlessly planning for what could be. In both cases, they miss the only moment that truly matters now. They miss the opportunities, the beauty, and the power that exists in the present because their attention is fragmented, divided between what was and what might be. To recognize that everything is now is to reclaim your focus and energy. Instead of scattering your thoughts across timelines that do not exist, you center yourself in the present, where all your creative power lies. The decisions you make, the feelings you cultivate, and the actions you take all occur in this moment. Whatever you desire, whatever you wish to create or experience, must begin here and now. This understanding shifts your perspective from one of waiting and hoping to one of acting and being. The now is the gateway to manifestation. When you focus your mind on a desired reality, imagining it as if it is already true, you activate the creative forces within you. The power of imagination and feeling is amplified when it is directed fully into the present moment. By embodying the state of your fulfilled desire now, you collapse the illusion of time and draw your desired reality into existence. This is not about denying the future or pretending the past never happened, but about aligning with the truth that both are shaped by what you do and believe in the now. This concept also speaks to the nature of fulfillment. Often people chase external achievements or possessions, believing that happiness and contentment lie somewhere in the future. Yet when they reach these milestones, they frequently find the joy to be fleeting, as their minds immediately fixate on the next goal. This cycle persists because fulfillment is not something you find in external conditions, it is a state of being you cultivate within. When you realize that everything is now, you stop postponing your happiness and start living it in the present. You discover that joy, peace, and abundance are not distant rewards but qualities you can embody here and now. Embracing the now deepens your connection to the world around you. The present moment is rich with sensory experiences, insights, and opportunities for connection, yet these often go unnoticed when your mind is preoccupied with the past or future. By anchoring yourself in the now, you become fully present with yourself and others. You listen more attentively, appreciate more deeply, and engage more authentically. Life becomes a vibrant, dynamic experience rather than a series of disconnected events. It is important to note that living in the now does not mean ignoring responsibilities or neglecting to plan for the future. Rather, it means approaching these tasks with full awareness and presence. When you plan, you do so in the now. When you reflect on the past, you do so in the now. The difference lies in your awareness. Are you fully present, or are you letting your mind wander aimlessly through time? The practice of mindfulness, bringing your attention back to the present moment, whenever it drifts, is a powerful way to cultivate this awareness. The realization that everything is now invites you to live fully and intentionally. It reminds you that you are not bound by the limitations of time or circumstance, but are a creator with the power to shape your reality in the present. By embracing the now, you unlock the infinite potential of life and step into the fullness of who you are. Every moment becomes an opportunity to create, to grow, and to experience the profound beauty of existence. Everything is now, and within this truth lies the key to a life of purpose, joy, and fulfillment.
Life is a mirror, reflecting back the reality of our innermost beliefs and convictions. Trust, therefore, is not merely about another person. It is a reflection of how you honor your intuition and guard your spirit. There are those in life who, though cloaked in charm or fine sincerity, carry intentions that could disrupt the harmony of your path. Today, let us uncover 3 types of individuals you should never place your trust in. Trust is a profound reflection of the inner self, a mirror revealing not only the nature of others, but more importantly, the essence of our own beliefs, fears, and expectations. The relationships we nurture, the people we draw into our lives, and the dynamics we experience are not random. They are shaped by the state of our inner world, acting as echoes of our thoughts, emotions, and spiritual alignment. To understand trust, we must first understand ourselves, for the outer world is but a projection of our inner consciousness. Self-trust also requires accountability. We must take ownership of our role in the dynamics we experience. It is easy to blame others for broken trust, but this mindset keeps us in a cycle of victimhood. Instead, ask yourself, what part of my inner world contributed to this situation? Perhaps you ignored your intuition when it warned you of red flags. Perhaps you placed unrealistic expectations on another person, expecting them to fulfill needs that only you can meet. By acknowledging these patterns, you empower yourself to make different choices in the future. Once you cultivate trust within, your external relationships begin to shift. You no longer seek validation from others, for you are rooted in the assurance of your own worth. This self-assuredness acts as a filter, naturally weeding out those who do not resonate with your energy. You will find it easier to discern between those who are authentic and those who are not, for your inner clarity allows you to perceive the truth beyond surface appearances. Trusting others becomes less about their actions and more about your alignment with your intuition. Ultimately, trust is not a static state but a dynamic process, one that evolves as you evolve. The more you nurture your inner self, the more you will attract relationships that honor and reflect your growth. Trusting others becomes an act of courage and faith, rooted in the knowledge that your inner world is your greatest guide. When you live from this place of inner alignment, trust ceases to be a fragile gamble and transforms into a powerful expression of self-assurance. At its core, discernment is a spiritual skill, rooted in self-awareness and intuition. It begins with the acknowledgement that not everything is as it seems. People, situations, and opportunities often present themselves in ways designed to appeal to our desires, fears, or biases. Without discernment, we risk being swept away by these illusions, making choices that may feel right in the moment but ultimately lead to regret or stagnation. Discernment, however, enables us to pause, reflect, and look beyond the obvious to uncover the underlying reality. To exercise discernment effectively, one must also develop emotional maturity. Our emotions, while vital to the human experience, can cloud our judgment when left unchecked. Fear, anger, or excitement can lead us to perceive things in distorted ways, making it difficult to see situations clearly. By learning to observe our emotions without being controlled by them, we create room for discernment to operate. This does not mean suppressing feelings, but rather understanding their role and allowing them to inform rather than dictate our decisions. Discernment is particularly crucial when it comes to relationship. The people we allow into our lives have a profound impact on our energy, mindset, and overall well-being. Without discernment, we may find ourselves entangled with individuals who drain our spirit, manipulate our emotions, or divert us from our path. These relationships often come disguised as friendships, partnerships, or even love, but their true nature reveals itself over time. Discernment helps us identify these patterns early, enabling us to set boundaries or walk away when necessary. In relationships, discernment teaches us to pay attention to consistency over words. Promises and declarations can be easily made, but it is through actions and patterns of behavior that true intentions are revealed. A discerning heart observes these patterns without judgment or attachment, seeking alignment rather than perfection. It recognizes that not every connection is meant to last, and that walking away from misaligned relationships is an act of self-respect, not failure. Beyond relationships, discernment plays a vital role in the opportunities we encounter. Life is abundant with possibilities, but not all opportunities are meant for us. Some may seem promising, but ultimately distract from our purpose. Others may require patience and perseverance to reveal their true value. Discernment helps us recognize which doors to walk through and which to let remain closed. It allows us to trust in divine timing, understanding that what is truly meant for us will not pass us by. Cultivating discernment also involves learning from past experiences. Every misstep or mistake offers a lesson in clarity if we are willing to reflect on it. When we approach our past with curiosity rather than judgment, we gain valuable insights into the patterns and choices that have shaped our journey. These lessons become the foundation upon which discernment is built, allowing us to navigate future challenges with greater wisdom and confidence. An essential aspect of discernment is the ability to trust oneself. Discernment is not about
in a world filled with
always
voices
making
and
the right
opinions.
choice. Self-trust
It is about
approaching
life with an open mind and a discerning heart,
willing
this
to
trust
explore,
is not
question,
blind faith,
and adapt,
but a deep knowing.
It is a practice that deepens over
to make
time,
decisions
shaped by a
that
willingness
honor
to
our
learn
highest
and grow.
good.
The
It
more we
requires
cultivate
silencing
it,
the noise
the more
of doubt
we
and
align
external
with the truth of
validation
who we are,
and
tuning
creating
into
a
the
life
still,
that reflects
small
our
voice
highest
within.
aspirations.
When we trust ourselves,
Discernment is a
flows
gift we
naturally,
give ourselves,
guiding us
a
toward
tool
choices
for
that
navigating
feel
the
aligned and
uncertainties
authentic.
of life with grace and confidence.
Deceivers
It is the
are
quiet
among the
wisdom
most
that
insidious
helps us see
challenges we
clearly,
encounter
choose
in life,
wisely,
and
for their
live
presence
authentically.
often disrupts trust,
When we embrace
harmony,
it fully,
and personal
we
growth.
unlock the power to
They
create
wear
a
masks
life
of charm,
purpose,
sincerity,
harmony,
or
and
competence,
fulfillment,
concealing intentions that can harm those who fall under their influence.
To navigate life effectively, one must recognize the danger of deceivers, not with fear or paranoia, but wisdom and discernment. Their actions, though often covert, leave trails of inconsistency and imbalance, and learning to identify these patterns protects not only your external circumstances, but also your inner peace. A deceiver thrives in the shadows of manipulation, thriving on the ability to distort reality. They often present themselves
One of the
as
most
trustworthy,
challenging aspects
aligning
of
their
dealing with
words
deceivers
with what you
is
want
their
to
ability
hear
to
or
exploit
see.
human vulnerability.
Their strength lies
They
in their
understand the
ability
natural
to
human
project
desire
a
for
facade
connection,
of reliability,
validation,
while
or
quietly
assistance, and
orchestrating
use these
actions that
desires
serve their
to
self-interest.
their advantage.
These individuals may not
deceiver might
always
appeal to
intend
your
to cause
emotions,
harm directly,
sympathizing with
but
your
their lack
struggles
of
or sharing
alignment with
fabricated
truth
stories
creates ripple
of their
effects
own
that
hardships to
destabilize
gain
the
your
lives of
trust.
those around them. Once this
When
bond
trust
formed,
is extended to
they
such a person,
manipulate
it
the
often
relationship
results
to
in
fulfill
confusion,
their goal,
disappointment,
often at your
and,
expense.
in some cases,
This manipulation
profound
can be
loss.
subtle, leaving you questioning your judgment or even doubting your perception of reality. The impact of deception extends beyond the immediate harm caused by the deceiver's actions. It can erode your sense of self-trust, making it difficult to navigate future relationships or opportunities. When deceived, the mind often revisits the situation repeatedly, searching for red flags that were overlooked. This process, while necessary for growth, can also lead to feelings of guilt or shame. You may wonder how you missed the signs or why you allowed the deceiver into your life. These questions, though painful, are essential to rebuilding your inner clarity and fortifying your ability to discern truth in the future. It is important to recognize that the danger of deceivers does not lie solely in their actions, but in the power we give them. Often, we ignore intuitive warnings or rationalize behaviors that feel off because we want to believe in the goodness of others. This is not a flaw, but a reflection of the human inclination toward trust and optimism. However, failing to acknowledge these internal signals can leave us vulnerable to further harm. The key is not to abandon trust altogether, but to refine it, ensuring it is placed in alignment with both logic and intuition. To protect yourself from deceivers, it is vital to cultivate self-awareness. Pay attention to how you feel in someone's presence. Deceivers often leave subtle signs, inconsistencies in their stories, exaggerated claims, or an inability to follow through on promises. While their words may be convincing, their actions often betray their true nature. Observing these patterns without immediately reacting allows you to gather the evidence needed to make informed decisions about whom to trust. Boundaries are another essential tool in safeguarding yourself from deceivers. A person who respects your boundaries demonstrates an understanding of mutual respect and transparency, while a deceiver may push against them or seek to undermine them subtly. Establishing clear boundaries communicates that you value your energy and time, making it more difficult for manipulative individuals to gain control over your life. It is also important to surround yourself with people who value integrity and truth. The company you keep significantly influences your ability to identify and handle deceivers. Honest, transparent relationships create a foundation of trust that makes it easier to recognize when someone's energy feels out of alignment. These connections act as a support system, offering perspective and guidance when you encounter situations that feel unclear. While encountering deceivers can be painful, these experiences also offer valuable lessons. They teach us the importance of listening to our intuition, setting boundaries, and maintaining a commitment to truth. Each instance of deception, when viewed through the lens of growth, becomes an opportunity to strengthen our discernment and resilience. Rather than allowing the actions of deceivers to diminish our trust in humanity, we can use these moments to refine our ability to trust ourselves. The danger of deceivers lies in their potential to derail us from our path. Yet, with awareness and wisdom, their influence can be minimized. By cultivating clarity within ourselves and fostering relationships rooted in authenticity, we create a life that reflects our highest truth. Deceivers, no matter how skilled, cannot disrupt a foundation built on self-trust and discernment. They may appear as obstacles, but in facing and overcoming their presence, we discover the strength to live in alignment with our deepest values.
The double-minded individual is one of the most perplexing and challenging types of people to encounter. Their nature is marked by inconsistency, indecision, and a lack of integrity, often leading to confusion and instability for those who interact with them. These individuals live in a state of internal conflict, torn between two opposing desires, values, or paths. Their words may promise one thing, while their actions reveal another. Their alliances shift with circumstances, making it nearly impossible to rely on them. To beware the double-minded is not merely a cautionary tale about others, but a reminder to examine our own inner coherence and commitment to truth. Double-mindedness often manifests as a lack of commitment to a single course of action. These individuals are frequently swayed by external forces, their decisions driven by fear, convenience, or the approval of others, rather than by a deep-seated sense of purpose. As a result, their actions lack integrity, and they become unreliable, not because they intend harm, but because they lack the inner alignment needed to stand firm in their choices. They promise loyalty but fail to deliver, offer assurances they cannot fulfill, and vacillate when circumstances demand clarity and decisiveness. One of the greatest challenges posed by double-minded people is the emotional toll they can take on those around them. Their inconsistency creates an atmosphere of uncertainty, where trust becomes tenuous and expectations are constantly undermined. In relationships, they may seem committed one moment and distant the next, leaving their partners feeling confused and unmoored. In professional settings, they may agree to tasks or decisions only to reverse course later, creating frustration and inefficiency for their colleagues. Their inability to anchor themselves in a single direction ripples outward, affecting everyone they encounter. The root of double-mindedness often lies in a deeper internal struggle. These individuals are often caught between fear and desire, between the life they aspire to live and the insecurities that hold them back. They may lack the courage to make definitive choices, fearing the consequences of commitment or the discomfort of leaving behind other possibilities. This internal division is mirrored in their external behavior, as they oscillate between conflicting goals or priorities. Understanding this internal conflict can help us approach double-minded individuals with compassion, even as we remain vigilant to the impact of their behavior. For those who seek to build lives of stability and purpose, recognizing double-mindedness in others and within ourselves is essential. Interacting with double-minded individuals requires discernment and clear boundaries. While it is tempting to try to help or fix them, it is crucial to remember that their internal conflict is theirs to resolve. We cannot force someone to choose alignment or integrity. That is a personal journey each individual must undertake. However, we can protect ourselves by setting firm boundaries and refusing to be drawn into their cycles of indecision and inconsistency. The greatest danger of engaging with double-minded individuals is the risk of being drawn into their instability. Their shifting loyalties or priorities can create confusion, leading us to question our own decisions or values. To counteract this, we must cultivate a strong sense of self-awareness and clarity about our own goals and principles. When we are anchored in our truth, the wavering nature of others has less power to destabilize us. This requires a commitment to regular introspection and a willingness to confront any areas where we too may be harboring double-minded tendencies. Indeed, the phenomenon of double-mindedness is not confined to others. It exists within all of us to some degree. Moments of indecision, conflicting desires, or hesitation are part of the human experience. However, the key to overcoming double-mindedness is recognizing these tendencies within ourselves and addressing them with honesty and courage. This process begins with aligning our thoughts, emotions, and actions with a clear sense of purpose. When we live in coherence, our decisions flow naturally from our values, and our lives become a reflection of our deepest truths. To move beyond double-mindedness, both in ourselves and in how we relate to others, we must cultivate the discipline of commitment. This involves making deliberate choices and standing by them, even when faced with challenges or temptations. It means trusting in our ability to navigate the consequences of our decisions and embracing the growth that comes from taking responsibility for our actions. When we embody this clarity and integrity, we inspire others to do the same. To beware the double-minded is to honor the value of consistency and alignment in all areas of life. It is a call to surround ourselves with people who reflect these qualities and to embody them in our own actions. By doing so, we create relationships, environments, and experiences that are rooted in trust and authenticity. The double-minded may continue to exist, but their influence diminishes in the presence of those who have chosen the path of clarity, integrity, and unwavering commitment to truth. Manipulators are a subtle yet potent force in our lives, weaving webs of influence that often go unnoticed until the damage has been done. They operate with a keen understanding of human nature, exploiting vulnerabilities and bending situations to serve their interests. The essence of manipulation lies in control, not the overt control of physical force, but the covert control of emotions, perceptions, and decisions. These individuals can distort reality, create illusions of trust, and wield power in ways that undermine autonomy and peace. To recognize and guard against manipulators is essential for preserving personal integrity and freedom. Manipulators often present themselves as allies, cloaking their intentions in the guise of helpfulness, concern, or charm. They are adept at reading people, identifying what drives them, and tailoring their approach to tap into these motivations. Whether it's offering unsolicited advice, playing the role of a confidant, or presenting themselves as indispensable, manipulators position themselves as people you can rely on. This makes it easy to overlook their ulterior motives, as they skillfully mask their actions under layers of apparent goodwill. One of the hallmarks of manipulation is the creation of imbalance. Manipulators thrive on making others feel indebted to them. They may do favors that seem altruistic but come with unspoken expectations. Over time, this creates a dynamic where the recipient feels compelled to reciprocate, often in ways that go beyond fairness or comfort. This imbalance is not always material. It can also manifest emotionally, with manipulators cultivating feelings of guilt or obligation to maintain their hold. Emotional manipulation is particularly insidious as it operates on the unseen terrain of the heart and mind. Manipulators may use tactics like gaslighting, where they distort facts or deny events to make their victims question their perception of reality. They may feign vulnerability, using their supposed hardships to elicit sympathy and gain leverage. Alternatively, they may subtly criticize or demean, eroding self-esteem to make others more pliable. These techniques are designed to destabilize, creating a sense of dependency that allows manipulators to assert their influence. Another common strategy is the use of flattery and validation. Manipulators know how to make others feel special, praising their abilities or qualities in ways that disarm skepticism. While genuine compliments are natural in healthy relationships, the manipulator's praise is calculated, serving as a tool to lower defenses and establish rapport. Once trust is gained, they leverage it to achieve their goals, often at the expense of the very person they've charmed. The danger of manipulators lies not only in their actions but also in their ability to make you complicit in your own manipulation. They plant seeds of doubt, fear, or desire, subtly guiding your choices while making you believe the decisions are entirely your own. This erosion of autonomy can leave you feeling powerless, questioning your judgment, and struggling to reclaim control over your life. The emotional toll can be significant, leading to feelings of confusion, frustration, and even betrayal when their true nature is revealed. Recognizing manipulators requires vigilance and self-awareness. Pay attention to how you feel after interacting with someone. If you consistently feel drained, obligated, or unsure of yourself, these may be signs of manipulation. Observe patterns in their behavior. Do they seem overly agreeable or helpful, only to later ask for something in return? Do they frequently shift the narrative to make themselves appear as victims or heroes? These are red flags that merit closer examination. Setting boundaries is one of the most effective ways to protect yourself from manipulators. Clearly defining what is acceptable and unacceptable behavior communicates that you value your autonomy and are unwilling to compromise it. Manipulators often test boundaries, so it's crucial to enforce them consistently and without apology. This might mean saying no to requests, limiting your engagement with them, or addressing manipulative behavior directly. While this can be uncomfortable, it is a necessary step in reclaiming control over your interactions. It is also important to cultivate relationships that are rooted in mutual respect and authenticity. Surround yourself with people who value your well-being as much as their own, who encourage your independence rather than seeking to control it. These connections act as a safeguard, providing a counterbalance to the influence of manipulators and reinforcing your ability to trust and assert yourself. Manipulators are a part of the human experience, but their power is not insurmountable. By developing awareness, setting boundaries, and fostering genuine relationships, you can minimize their impact on your life. Moreover, each encounter with a manipulator offers an opportunity for growth, teaching you to trust your instincts, value your autonomy, and stand firm in your truth. Though their actions may be unsettling, manipulators ultimately serve as reminders of the importance of clarity, integrity, and self-respect in navigating the complexities of human interaction. The greatest defense against manipulation is a strong sense of self. When you know your values, trust your intuition, and remain steadfast in your boundaries, you become impervious to the subtle machinations of those who seek to control. Manipulators may attempt to sway you, but their efforts will falter in the face of your unwavering commitment to live authentically and independently. In a world saturated with words, promises, reassurances, opinions, and advice, it is easy to lose sight of a fundamental truth. Intuition often speaks more clearly and truthfully than the most eloquent speech. Words can be manipulated, shaped to serve purposes beyond their surface meanings, but intuition, that quiet voice within, is rooted in a deeper understanding. It bypasses the rational mind, tapping into an unseen reservoir of wisdom that senses the essence of situations and people. Trusting your intuition over words is not just a skill but a safeguard for navigating life with clarity, confidence, and authenticity. Words have power. They can uplift, inspire, and motivate. Yet they can also deceive, mislead, and mask hidden intentions. A skilled speaker can weave narratives that seem impeccable on the surface while subtly serving their own agendas. Politicians, marketers, and even those close to us may use words to sway us in directions we might not otherwise choose. In such moments, relying solely on words can lead us astray, away from our true desires and well-being. This is where intuition becomes indispensable, a quiet guide that operates beyond the reach of verbal persuasion. Intuition often speaks through subtle cues, gut feelings, a sense of unease, or an inexplicable pull toward or away from something. It is not loud or demanding but persistent, waiting for us to pay attention. Unlike words, which can be carefully constructed to appeal to logic or emotion, intuition emerges from a deeper awareness that processes information beyond our conscious understanding. It connects patterns, discerns energy, and detects incongruences that might escape the rational mind. Consider a moment when someone's words didn't match their energy. Perhaps they assured you of their loyalty, but something about their tone, body language, or even the timing of their statement made you feel otherwise. That discomfort was your intuition alerting you to a misalignment between what was being said and the truth. Similarly, there are moments when intuition draws you toward opportunities or people, even when logic cannot immediately explain why. These instances highlight the profound wisdom of intuition, which perceives truth's words may obscure. Trusting intuition over words requires a willingness to slow down and listen. Modern life often pulls us outward, demanding constant engagement with external stimuli, social media, conversations, responsibilities. Amid this noise, the quiet voice of intuition can be drowned out. Cultivating a relationship with your intuition means creating space for reflection and connection with your inner self. Practices such as meditation, journaling, or spending time in nature can help you attune to this inner wisdom. The more you listen to it, the more clearly it will guide you. Fear and doubt are common obstacles to trusting intuition. The rational mind, accustomed to relying on evidence and logic, may resist the seemingly abstract nature of intuitive insights. Fear of being wrong, of taking risks, or of going against the grain can also suppress intuitive guidance. However, intuition is not about certainty, it is about alignment. It nudges you toward what feels true, even if the path ahead is unclear. Overcoming these fears requires trust in your inner voice and a willingness to act on its guidance, even when it defies conventional reasoning. To prioritize intuition over words, it is essential to observe and question the motivations behind what is being said. Words are often colored by the speaker's desires, insecurities, or intentions. When someone's words provoke strong emotions, whether excitement, fear, or urgency, pause and ask yourself whether their message resonates with your inner truth. Notice how your body responds to their words. Intuition often communicates through physical sensations, such as a tightness in your chest, a flutter in your stomach, or a sense of calm clarity. These signals can offer valuable insights into whether to trust or question what is being said. Relationships provide fertile ground for learning to trust intuition. Whether in friendships, romantic partnerships, or professional connections, the alignment between words and actions is key. Someone's repeated assurances of care or reliability may lose meaning if their behavior consistently contradicts their promises. Intuition will often sense these discrepancies long before the mind acknowledges them. Similarly, when someone's actions align with their words, your intuition may signal trustworthiness, even if external circumstances seem uncertain. Intuition also serves as a compass for self-guidance. While external voices may offer advice or criticism, your intuition reflects your unique journey and values. It helps you distinguish between paths that align with your purpose and those that do not. When faced with decisions, especially significant ones, tuning into intuition can provide clarity that transcends the limitations of logic. It encourages you to honor your authentic desires, even when they challenge societal expectations or norms. Following intuition over words is a practice of deep self-trust. It requires you to believe in your capacity to discern truth, even when it defies conventional wisdom or external validation. It is not a rejection of words or logic, but an acknowledgement that they are only part of the equation. By listening to intuition, you reclaim your power to navigate life authentically, grounded in an inner wisdom that is uniquely yours. In this alignment with self, you find clarity, strength, and the freedom to live in harmony with your deepest truths. In conclusion, trust is a sacred cornerstone of our relationships and our journey through life. It is not something to be given lightly, for the wrong choices can lead to pain and confusion. By sharpening our discernment, recognizing the dangers of deceivers, manipulators, and the double-minded, and prioritizing intuition over words, we arm ourselves with the clarity and strength to build a life rooted in authenticity and peace. Trust begins with understanding yourself, listening to the quiet voice within, and honoring the boundaries that protect your integrity. When you align with your inner truth, you will naturally attract the people and circumstances that reflect your values and aspirations. Thank you for taking the time to reflect on this journey of discernment and self-awareness. May you walk forward with confidence, trusting wisely and living fully.